If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to Daybreak Live. I'm Jim Abrams. We welcome in for our weekly conversation with Tom Roberts, Greater Coosa Valley Area Chamber of Commerce. And Tom, good morning. You got a special guest with you this morning that a lot of people know.
Yeah, he's kind of an anchor for downtown Childersburg. Been there for, I didn't realize it until we discussed it yesterday, but you've been down in downtown Childersburg for 26 years now.
I have, Tom. It's been a wonderful opportunity to be there for that many years and to be in a relationship with a lot of different people throughout the years.
And one of the things that we wanted to focus on a little bit today is there's some new things that have come, there are some new things that are coming, but we have a pretty doggone strong community of a wide variety of businesses in our downtown Childersburg area already. We do have some empty buildings, and there's a lot of work being done on changing that part of it, but in the meantime, it's important that we support what we have, because that's the biggest key in getting new and better, is supporting what you have. And I know you've been down there a long time, and you probably have a better view of everything. You know all your neighbors, and so let's talk about some of those folks. You do have a new one that's just moved in next door to you.
Yeah, Lane Golden. Lane is going to open a teaching studio for vocal, musical such as piano, drums, guitar, banjo, bass guitar, things of that nature. He has gone ahead and he set up his studio. He's now trying to get everything in place to where he can begin taking students there and begin teaching.
Well, that's a big step forward. Now, I also know that I could feel it from across the way that Jimmy Dale Abrams here was getting a little bit excited, because both of us would love to be on stage as performers, but, you know, this was about healing the sick, not raising the dead, right? But that's just one of the new things that that we have coming. Let's start at the end of one of the streets. You pick one, and let's go down the street and talk about some of the folks that we have as neighbors.
Well, right down from City Hall on my side of the street, we can begin with Jerry's Gifts. They've been there for a little over 20 years, got a lot of different things that you can go and browse and look at, some quality stuff. And Jerry,
a wide variety of things. I just saw something online yesterday, boots that were for kids. I had no idea they had that. Mm-hmm. There's so many things. That's a pretty big building.
Yeah, and they're very diversified in the things they have, from, you know, costume jewelry to you name it. You know, from book bags where they, you know, do their embroidery on there and put the child's names and things of that nature. You know, they're just wide open and been ready for business for quite some time and serving the Childersburg community.
And right next door to Jerry's Gifts, Jerry and Charles Isbell, they have one of the more beautiful things for downtown Childersburg, and that's Veterans Park. They put a lot of work into that.
A lot of work has gone into Veterans Park, and I love to see the veterans. They like to get out there and put their elbow grease and their blood, sweat, and tears in that place. They try to at least annually do some type of ceremony there to honor the fallen, and you know, it's wonderful to see those guys get out and work that way.
Next door to that, we have Joe Allen, and his family's been operating the print shop for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a standard business but probably down there as long as anybody.
Absolutely. You know, before they were there in that position they're in now, the place they are, that used to be the old Radio Shack. You know, Vic Parker owned the Radio Shack there, and Joe saw the need to expand once Lewis handed him the business, you know. And Joe went down there, purchased the building, you know, revamped the building and updated it, and was able to expand the business. It's done quite well.
And they keep rather busy with all manner of printing. A little farther up the street, we have the 8th Avenue Gallery, and I'm staying on Mike to do a few different things. We're working on a project that's going to turn it into a gallery. He's a little resistant because that's a lot of work, but we're going to get there. Beyond that, we have an event center that I understand there's some plans in the works for the Friends on 8th. Again, though, it's an event center for now because there are a lot of people that need a small place, a big place, a place where caterers can come in to host things. Then we go a little bit farther down the street, and is that Lane next?
Lane Golden, he's going to be right there. He's ready for students now. He's just got to get some more information out there for people to be able to.
We'll talk a little bit more about that next week. And then beyond that, we got that Forbus guy.
Yeah, I run my shop, been there for 26 years.
Who are your customers?
My customers are pretty much a large group of the surrounding areas from Shelby County, Fayetteville, Winterboro, Sylacauga. You know, got quite a few folks from there.
That's a big point. Because a lot of folks say, well, we don't have a lot, we need more things, but we're not going to support them because Childersburg's not that big. Well, the reality is that our customer base comes from a pretty large, well-populated geographic area, and it makes a big difference. A lot of your business comes from outside of Childersburg.
Correct.
Next door to that, we have the old 5 and Dime building. The city has gotten their hands on that. The paperwork's in the process, and we'll have the physical deed, working on a grant to help put a roof back on it and save that building. Then you move on around the corner, you've got the library on the next corner, and then you've got Keith's Variety Shop, you got Polly's Style Hut, and you've got a building that's in the process of becoming a meat and 3 restaurant. That's they're taking their time, the Mans, and they are working hard on the building, but they want to be completely and totally out of debt, pay for things along the way, and so patience is a virtue in that one, and it's going to help keep it there for a long, long time. Then we've got another big attraction, the Italian Cafe. As you move a little farther down, the Butler Harris Rainwater House and Mapco. Coming back down the street, we've had a couple of people looking at the old Wright and Sprayberry building. Okay. We've got the Stacy's Flowers building. And what's the name of the hair shop that's next?
Well, right next to him, right next to Pam's Hair Heaven.
Pam's Hair Heaven, that's it.
Eric Tucker has his pump business there, where he redoes pumps and things of that nature for industries. He goes and services their pumps for big industry.
And the long-standing Judy Rose Shell School of Dance is now Glamour and Grace. That's a big addition. She's taken that to a whole new level, keeping that building just hopping. We've got Family Dollar. We've got Alabama Termite and Alabama Tax. We have what's going to be Ancestors when we can get quit using up so much of Monty Powell. But as you move on down the street, there's some buildings that are in the process of being renovated and moving forward. We've got the police and fire station, DeSoto Park, the Kiwanis Park. We've got other things coming on back up that side, and other businesses off the side streets.
And the Cup of Grace. I don't know if you mentioned that or not.
We skipped over that one. That's the brand new one, and that's creating a lot of traffic downtown. And remember, they need your support, and they have something way beyond just coffee. Coffee is their big thing, but it's cafe and coffee. They have a lot of good eats. I can see a couple of pounds on you.
It's been my greatest salvation. I mean, because a lot of times when you are, have constraints as far as going to lunch and you're held over, I can just go down there. I can get a sandwich. I can get a wrap. I can get a salad.
Get some soup.
Get some soup. There's such a great variety there rather than just coffee.
And then we have a couple of automotive places. We have some of your neighbors across the way.
Yeah, By Right Auto Parts.
By Right Auto Parts, and the old karate building is about to become the annex for the Phyllis Wheatley Center because they needed some facilities to host some events and activities for the community, and so that'll be an event center. Renaissance Bank is a big one for downtown. They have made a long-term commitment. We've got City Hall. We've got the Chamber of Commerce.
And Vintage Garage is next to the bank.
It's easy to miss things. That's why we're having this conversation.
Right.
We have a lot going on in downtown Childersburg, and we're adding to that on a very regular basis, and that's important for folks to remember and support. And it's a little tougher getting on and off of Highway 280 right now because of the bridge construction, but it's well worth the opportunity, and it hadn't slowed your business down yet, has it?
It has not. You know, as a matter of fact, just the other day I had a new customer come all the way from Renfro because he'd been looking for a barber shop. He's looking for a barber. So, you know, there's specific things that people are looking for, and there are specific things that are available for them in downtown Childersburg.
And people are particular about their hair, aren't they?
They are. They are. And, you know, the biggest thing about what we do as barbers is that it's about relationship. It's about relationship. My dad always told me, he said, you don't have to be the best barber in the world. He said, but if people like you, they'll support you.
Well, one of the things, too, that I was thinking about as I was pulling up outside, the barber shop, the other hair places downtown, those places are like full-time all the way throughout the day, Daybreak, because you can find out a lot of information of what's going on around.
Absolutely.
Get some good gossip, and some of it's even true.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out of this big operation, Jimmy Dale, but as you can tell, we had to zoom our way through because we've got a lot that we can brag about for downtown.
Eddie, how'd you get, Eddie?
The one
Ronnie?
same as the other.
Well, how did you get started in the business?
Well, you know, I've been around the barbershop all my life. Dad's a barber for over, 50 years, and I was raised in one. Started out shining shoes at 5 years old, and just been around it all my life. Daddy's always offered me the opportunity to learn and take up the trade, but I resisted till about age 26, and I realized, I needed to be able to do something other than work in the corporate world. I needed to be able to have something to back up on, and so I began to understudy under him and apprentice under him, and I met my wife of 28 years. Met her, and her grandfather owned the building that I'm in, and in being in a relationship with her and coming into the barbering business 26 years ago and being trained, I realized, hey, Childersburg needs a barber. And so I talked to her grandfather about it and started paying him rent. And I was blessed a couple of years after being into it. When we decided to go full time with it, he gave the building to me as a Christmas gift. So I've been blessed and be rent free. Not maintenance free, but rent free for 26 years there, and it's been a place where God put me where He wanted me to be, and I told Him as long as He wanted me there, I'd be there.
Yeah.
And business is an investment in the community in which you operate, and you've made that with money, you've made that with time, you've made that with effort. And if you're going to be there 26 years and counting, that's a pretty good investment that's starting to pay off for you.
Absolutely. And one of the joys as well is I was able to apprentice my son. He's a certified master barber, and he'll have something he can take with him for the rest of his life.
Another generation.
Yes,
now,
sir.
he's in college and has some other aspirations, but that is something. And I swap back and forth between the two. You do a little bit different, and I can have a little different look. You have your own styles, and I like both of them. And one thing before we get out of here, I wanted to mention we have a couple of ribbon cuttings coming up. One this Saturday at 11 o'clock. It's out on Coosa Pines Drive, which is the plant road. Just as you come off Highway 280, there's a small strip mall, and she's on the far end. It's Max Beauty Supply. And they're going to be filling a huge gap in our market. There are things that they have available that just aren't available anywhere else in Childersburg, and it's already creating a lot of traffic, and want to wish her well and invite folks to come out for that. Then we have more on the way. The next week it's First Street Pharmacy inside Piggly Wiggly, and then it keeps moving on from there. So it's a busy time. We're going to have to cut the ribbon for Lane Golden next door as soon as he's ready to take that next step. So things are hopping, but we also have a lot of these long timers that have been down there that have worked hard and deserve your support. They need your business. They make investments in our community, and we need to hang on to what we have as we grow. Otherwise, we're just treading water.
All right, guys, appreciate you both being here this morning. Greater Coosa Valley Area Chamber of Commerce, Tom Roberts, and a local barber and stylist in Childersburg, Ronnie Forbus. We talk about downtown Childersburg. We don't have time for to talk about Ronnie singing. He's a great singer, and one of these days we'll get him to do It Is Well With My Soul. That work?
Sounds good.
All right, we've got more Daybreak right ahead.